Well, the weather's getting pretty cold outside, and thought I'd make a little bit of split pea soup, but we're going to do it in the crock pot, so it really requires no effort. In fact, I'm not even sure why we're doing a video. It's so simple, but what the heck. We have some turkey leftovers too this time of year, so we're going to utilize a lot of that. If you saw all of our turkey videos, you know we make the stock right away, and I've made smoked turkeys for you and roasted turkeys, and I've got some stock of both kinds here. I've got regular turkey stock and smoked turkey stock, which I'm going to use for the split pea soup, and it's going to give it a wonderful smoky flavor. And on top of that, I also have a really nice smoked turkey leg here. You may have seen our smoking video on smoked turkeys. So instead of, a lot of times people would have you put a ham hock or pieces of ham into a split pea soup, we're going to use turkey leg today. So right into the crock pot goes the turkey leg. That doesn't take any effort at all. And we have here about a pound of split peas. It's about 2 cups. You can wash them, rinse them, sort through them. My experience is they come from the market pretty clean, so you don't really need to do very much. So they can go in now too. Crock pot is set on high. This is going to take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours on high, but depending on your crock pot, it will vary. Different crock pots heat at different rates, and they get to different temperatures. In any event, to that we're going to add an onion. This is quite a large onion. I don't think you can ever have too much onion. The outer peels come right off. And as you've seen before, we're not all that anal about how we peel the onion, in that we can take off an extra layer of onion with the skin because we know we're going to use it for our next batch of stock. So it doesn't have to be peeled perfectly. And because we're going to be pureeing this when it's done, the onions don't have to be chopped very finely. They can be just chunked up. However, if you wish to not puree the soup, you can put this together in a Cuisinart or do a very special fine dice yourself. Not critical. In goes 1 large onion. Celery is great for soups. I take the entire bunch of celery. I guess this is technically a stalk. One of these is a rib. I cut it from the end because I like to include the leaves. A lot of people might just peel off some ribs on the outside and use just that part. I like the leaves. So that's about a half a cup to a cup of celery, depending on how much you like. And the equivalent amount of carrot, about a half cup to a cup. Doesn't matter how beautiful this is because it's all going to get pureed. It does need some seasoning, so we're going to use my own special seasoning blends. This is my seasoned salt. We're going to use about 2 teaspoons of that. And about 1 teaspoon of my seasoned pepper. These are all available on the web. The recipes are there, or you can buy them, your choice. So to all that, I'm going to add 2 quarts of stock. I have a quart of smoked turkey stock, and a quart of regular turkey stock. You could use chicken stock, or you could use water. It doesn't really matter that much, except I like the extra flavor you get from using the stock. The crock pot is on high. We're going to let it go from 2 to 4 hours. It's going to depend. We're going to taste it about 2 hours in to see where we are, and then we'll come back and puree it all up. Well, it's been about 4 hours now, almost 5, and this pea soup is ready. The peas have completely broken down. It's very smooth, except for the other vegetables that are in it. So you could serve it just like this, and it would be just fine. It would be actually fantastic. Just like this, with the chunks of vegetables in it. And that would be a very nice hearty meal, just as it is. But I know a lot of people like split pea soup to be completely smooth, so there's a number of ways to do that. One way is if you have an immersion blender like this. And it's a stick, otherwise known as a stick blender. And you can just take it and put it, well, first we want to take our turkey out. Turkey is given a wonderful smoky flavor to the soup. And we're going to use that in a minute. So you can take your stick blender and definitely put it in and just work it around and make a very smooth soup out of it that way. If you don't have one of these, and I understand that not everyone does, you can use a food processor. And with a food processor, what you want to do is do the solids first. So what we'll do is we'll take the solids out and puree those first and then add them back to the liquid. And that's pretty easy to do once you get the blade on. And it'll make a very nice puree. And that's very, very smooth. And that can go back into the soup. Another way you can do it is to use a blender. And this can be a little bit tricky because when you put a hot soup into a blender, it does tend to explode on you. So you got to be pretty careful. And the thing with doing this in a blender is you want to turn the blender on first and then add the hot liquid to it. And while you, with a food processor, put the solids in first, with a blender you put the liquid in first. So we're going to turn it on, horribly loud. And after all that noise, you should have a pretty smooth soup. It's actually pretty nice looking. Now, needless to say, you should taste this. It's right on. It might need a little bit more salt. Now, it's pretty thick, so you can thin it out with some water. You can thin it out with some more stock. You can thin it out with some milk or some cream. Finally, one last thing. We have this incredible turkey leg. This meat can be shredded, and you see it shreds unbelievably easily. It just comes right off the bone. And this meat can be added back to the soup. If you didn't want to use turkey, you could use ham. You could use sausages sliced up and put in. Some nice turkey. So there you have it. Crock-pot split pea soup with a little bit of smoked turkey, turkey stock, and vegetables.